Enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a feeling of resourceful relaxation, and as you exhale, just get a sense that tension, stress, any worries are leaving your body in your outward breath. That's right. So much so that with each and every breath, feel yourself going deeper and deeper, relaxed. Now, that's it. On the next inward breath in, feel that resourceful relaxation, and as you exhale, if it's safe to do so, allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, notice that you can give more of your attention, more of your focus to the sound of my words. I want you to imagine and really harness the power of your imagination to imagine what it would be like to go back in time and imagine it's the last day of high school, of secondary school. Maybe you're 16, 17 years old, maybe 18, and you're about to leave school before entering the world of adulthood, and maybe you can remember your school. And I want you to remember perhaps a hall, maybe where teachers would give talks or presentations would take place. Maybe you can imagine sitting on one of those cheap plastic chairs as you're looking up at that stage or platform. And I want you to imagine what looks to be a guest is there to provide some kind of speech for your last day at school. And I want you to get this sense that this person going to that stage is wise. Perhaps you can imagine them walking to some kind of microphone, perhaps, or lectern, and you get the sense that they're about to give a speech. But surprisingly, their advice is to wear sunscreen. The logic being that if they could offer you one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. Because the long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of this person's advice has no basis and is no more reliable than their own meandering experience. And they let you know that they're going to dispense this advice now. Imagine you're there on that plastic school seat, breathing in and breathing out, feeling deeper and deeper relaxed as this wise person on a stage is sharing their advice. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind. You will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way that you can't grasp now just how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You're not as fat as you imagine, And as you hear these words, I want you to recall that when you think of yourself, maybe 20 years ago, as to how much of that is true. Did you make the most of your youth? Did you look in the mirror and realize just how beautiful you were back then? And if you didn't, entertain the possibility that right now you're also not enjoying the power and beauty of your youth now. Because yet again, in another 20 years, maybe you'll wish you're the age you are right now. Tap into that feeling that right now is the youngest you'll ever be. Yes, it's true you've been younger before, but right now is the youngest you can ever be, because being is in the present. A week from now, you will be older. A year from now, you will be even older, and therefore, right now is the youngest, most youthful that you will ever be. You look up at that wise person delivering the speech. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind. The kind that blindsides you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you, and start to think about what scares you today. What one thing can you do today that creates some kind of fear or anxiety response, and realize that when you seek out the very things that scare you, quickly you realize that fear is an illusion, a mirage, and whenever you get close to it, fear gets further away. And that action is a candle to the shadows of fear. And whenever you take action, the fear disappears. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. And don't put up with people who are reckless with yours.